and the internet. The internet did make stories great, but also worse at the same time. Let me explain that. Now, and I'm pretty sure most people will understand it themselves, but when it comes to the internet, everybody got their own opinions. Everybody got one. Just like assholes, everybody got one. And everybody got their way, their version of how the story should go or how it should end. And when it comes down to it, that's just a big issue. That's just a big issue because why are you sitting there?
Welcome to Deep Talk with Sony, Deep Bites with Sony Blaze, where we get to have deeper bites of subjects that was discussed on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. I am your very knowledgeable host, Sony Blaze. Let's take a deep bite. Today on Deep Bites with Sony Blaze, we're talking about, did the internet make stories great? But anyways, I messed up all my lines, but we're going to get more into that after these breaks on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. See you in a bit.
What up? Welcome to my corner of the universe. If you want to sit there and advertise for Deep Talk with Sony Blaze and have your products or services be placed here, let us handle it for you. So doesn't matter if you're a small business, you're a big business, you got products, artworks, whatever it is, let SBC handle your workload, okay? Let us handle your workload. So go ahead and email us at sonyblazecorner.com and we'll get that to you as soon as you can. Peace.
Welcome back to Deep Talk with Sony Deep Bites. Well, I'm saying Deep Talk. Deep Bites with Sony Blaze, where we get to have deeper bites of subjects that was discussed on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. I am your very knowledgeable host, Sony Blaze. Let's take a deep bite. I can't wait to actually do that in actual restaurants. Oh, yeah. One of the first places I'm going to do this, and also I'm going to tag you into it. So, bonga. It's going to be one of the first places. So, I'm gonna take a, because I actually like the bonga burger. So, we're going to take a deep bite on that bonga burger. So, anyways, welcome back to Deep Bites with Sony Blaze. So, let's get straight into it. So, let's really talk about that, though, man. Like it's 2026 now, and also with how the internet is, we got AI, we got better technology and whatsoever, and also the internet, and things gotten better and worse at the same time, but it is what it is. But that's not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about today, we're talking about stories. And let's actually talk about this real quick. Stories are the greatest inventions that humans ever made. That is, I get that. Y'all probably saying like, whoa, Sony, man, you talking some big shit right now. But in reality, it's true. Stories are one of the greatest inventions that humans ever made. And the reason why, because let's think about this. Because a story, what you have to do, you have to sit there and gather up this, a combination of different things into one cohesive thing. That's all I can say. One cohesive thing that makes sense, that can be repeatedly told over and over and over again. And that's like one of the greatest things that's ever humans ever created. Because when you think about this, a story can really sit there and take human beings to and you can see like how great stories are, because I'm messing up my words. It could take you to higher heights or even lower lows. Or what I mean by that is like this: stories can either help you or they can destroy you. Okay, so the thing is, it's like this. Like let's for instance, like a story that can help you. Look, the Bible. Now, I ain't gonna, you know what? I ain't gonna say, what whatsoever, but there are stories, though. Stories. Whether it's true stories or false stories, that is not for me to sit there and judge. That's for y'all to judge, not for me whatsoever. But as the Bible has stories that can sit there and help humanity, help mankind and whatsoever, and helps you out to a higher heights. Now, stories that can really destroy you, I don't know too many stories that can really destroy you, but mainly stories that mainly sit there and mainly talk about like violence, destruction, and basically reaffirm, or I think not reaffirm, but what's that word? Mainly just reaffirm and basically to keep you down. So when it comes down to it, stories can either help you or they can destroy you at any at any given time. It depends what stories that you read and how you take within the story as well too. Now, also, stories are a great pastimes for our lives. When it comes down to before, the consoles, before computers, before rollerblading or football, or all these entertainments. One of the earliest pastimes that we had as humans are stories. We sat there, we probably go around on campfires and we tell each other stories. And the campfire, just campfire stories and whatsoever. And that's how communities and culture really starts, when it comes down to stories. And that's what it mainly comes down to. Just let's just really digest on that as well too. And now, when it comes down to it, let's talk about the internet. Now, did the internet make stories great? Well, I say this: yes, the internet did make stories great, but at the same time, it did make them worse. And now, why am I saying that for? Well, it's because now, with the access to the authors and the artists and whatsoever, like quick access to them, now people sit there to give their 2 cents about the stories and whatsoever. Now, mind you, there are some good inputs that's out there that does enhance the stories, but some reason there's more negative than positives that's out there, and it is what it is. And you're probably wondering, who's to blame for why the internet have so much influence on the stories? The best thing I could say is the main people who to blame to have so much influence on the stories, well, first of all, the main ones are us, the audience. We're the biggest problems when it comes to the influence of the story. Now, right after it is big companies. But back to it, why I say us, because I was going to say big companies, but then in reality, it is us. Because when you think about it, the big companies, the reason why they change the stories and whatsoever, because they're not trying to lose money. And where the money comes from us. Same thing with artists and authors. They want to they want to create their own stories, but they want their stories to be successful. And in order for them to be successful, guess who are the ones that makes it successful? Us. So when it comes down to the main people who's to blame for it is pretty much is us. It is what it is. It is what it is. But anyways, that's about it for this episode of Deep Bites with Sony Blaze. And hopefully this video is actually working good. I had to change something up with my with OBS so it could actually record the videos quite nicely. Hopefully it do it nicely, because the video quality was just terrible. It really is. But anyways, let me know your opinion whether the internet did good for stories or bad. Let me know down in the comments. And if you're just joining me for the first time, if you're not subscribing, make sure you subscribe. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. I'm Deep Bites with Sony Blaze.